jazz bass here to introduce our guests, and they have a relationship, so thank you, Lynn.
Good morning. Our guest today, Evilena Protektore, and I met when I was honored to be named a Fulbright Scholar. I got to go to Latvia and live in Riga and teach and play a lot of gigs for 5 months. And she was at the Josef Svitals Latvian Music Academy, and we met there. And one of the cool things about the school there is that all the jazz majors have to study different instruments, including bass. So they ought to take semesters of bass lessons and piano lessons and drums and everything. So as a vocalist, I got to teach vocalists and drummers. She was one of my students then. But she now is a teacher there. She works all over Europe, has collaborated with many wonderful artists. And she also obviously is an entrepreneur. And when I was there, she booked some gigs for us. And I saw some gigs with some other people that she has booked. So she's a wonderful singer. And we came here to the States. I'll go ahead and tell that story. I was called to do a record, which happened this last weekend in Houston. And the producer wanted to know about the musicians that the music director had recommended. And I was one of the people, so he played a bunch of videos for the producer to convince him about who he could hire. And one of the videos was a duet that we had recorded in Latvia, in Riga. And he said, ask Lynn if he knows a singer that sounds like Evilena that I could hire for this record session. And of course, my wife Marianne and I wrote back and said, why don't you just ask Evilena? She'd probably love to come. So that's how she came to be here. We are here and we did this recording this last weekend. Very exciting. So happy to have you visit Texas. So please welcome Evilena Protektore.
Hi. So, as Lynn said, I am a singer, but I also have a nonprofit. Long story short, it all started before I started doing music, because my first education, my first degree is in public relations. So then after that, when I decided that I don't really want to work in that sphere for someone else, I want to do it for myself, I went to study music, and then I started figuring out how I can take that knowledge and apply it to music, because jazz is not a popular genre. So basically, jazz is either for very rich people or for very poor people, or young people, students. So at some point, me and a couple of my friends decided that we need to do something to increase the awareness of the inhabitants of our country, which is small, but still quite a challenge, about jazz and jazz musicians. So we thought long and hard about how we can do that, because naturally when you know nothing about a thing, you don't want to buy it, you don't want to pay money for that. So basically what we needed to do, we needed to first of all kill the stereotype that jazz is a very complicated music, because that is the stereotype that exists in Latvia, because people think that if you play jazz, there could be only two different options. It could be Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong, and the big band stuff, or it could be like, I don't know, some super complicated free jazz and stuff like that, that people with no prior music education in jazz do not really understand, and they think that it's just a pile of random sounds, you know, like yeah, basically that's what my mother says. So we decided that we need to do something. So we've opened a nonprofit organization that basically works for two different target
Audience.
Yes, audiences, thank you. Forgot about it. So, first one is, of course, the listener. That's basically the main person who we want to address, you know, to educate him about what the jazz is, and that you don't have to be afraid of it, and that it can be different, that it can be very beautiful, it can be a little slightly more complicated, that it can be exciting, blah, 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 blah. But the other part, which in my opinion is more important, especially for this class, are musicians and managers. Because I don't know how it happens here, but in Latvia, since jazz is not a commercial genre of music, managers do not want to work with jazz musicians because they cannot earn money working with jazz musicians. So basically, jazz musicians do everything themselves. And that's where we come in. So what we do is we organize different educational sessions, like how to make a proper picture for yourself that you could use in promotions, like in posters. How to properly build a web page for you so that people would find you. Some guidelines, how to do videos and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Like how to use social media and on and on and on and on. So what I have prepared for tonight for you is basically how Europeans work with public image. Because things are a little bit different. I've studied a little bit how things happen here, and it seems that we do have some, naturally we do have, I mean, we live on totally other sides of the world. Yeah, so we have some differences. But these differences can be quite crucial when you want to sell yourself or your musician to a festival in Europe, for example. Not necessarily in Latvia, but in Europe. So, let's start with the basics, the web page. The web page is a thing that now in our age of social media is not the main thing that you go to when you want to know like something about the events, upcoming events or something like that. But you have to have a web page, because if you have a web page, it means that you have invested your time and money in it. And that means that you are serious, that you consider yourself a serious musician worth investing money in. But it cannot be just any web page. Europeans are snobs. That's true. No, I mean, really snobs, because web design, video works, photo works, they do not cost a lot of money. The profession somehow became cheaper. So, and especially now that we have like Squarespace and stuff like that, where you can make your own web page, it becomes even easier. So when you have bad or tasteless or just not thoughtful web page, every festival will look at it and say, nah. You will not even listen to what you're playing. That's the harsh reality of that. So the basics that you should have on your web page is, first of all, biography. Secondly, videos. That's like comes before the audios. Yes. Then pictures in high resolution that he can, like the person who buys you, that he sees the pictures and knows, yes, I can use this. This will help me sell the artist. Context. Technical writer or stage plan is optional, because that comes later when he already buys you, and then you start talking what you need and blah, 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 blah. But if you have a technical writer on your webpage, that also is like a bonus point. It means that you're more serious. And then upcoming events, which is also optional, because for the upcoming events, people usually turn, in Europe, people usually turn to Facebook, Bands in Town, all about jazz, jazz near you, and stuff like that. It depends on the festival, depends on the country, but Facebook is the most popular. So, let's talk about the biography of the web page. So, biography should be on the web page. It should be short. The most important information should be in the first sentence, which is very important, because if the guy you're sending an email to, like, check out my webpage, he opens up your webpage and he sees like this big amount of text, he will never read it through. He will read the first paragraph. So the most crucial information about yourself should be in the first paragraph. Then, usually, sometimes people need a longer version of your biography, so that means that you can do several options. You can either place a button, read more, if it's very interesting and exciting, like, I don't know, romance novel or something, and people are interested. Or if a person really needs that. Or you can upload it to your webpage as a separate file, so that the person would be able to download it, like a PDF where you can copy the text off, or, I don't know, a doc something like that, text file. So the third, it should be designed in a way that is easy to read. A very common mistake also in Europe is that people sacrifice the readability of the text in favor of the design. Beautiful design is awesome, but it should be usable. You should always think about the person who reads your web page, right? And fourth, it's good to have quotes from respectable people or magazine reviews or something like that. It's just a bonus point, you know, if that means that you're known. That means that somebody listens to your music. So a couple of examples. This guy is the most famous saxophonist in our country. Like, the guy. If we talk about jazz saxophone, this is the person you will probably find as the first one when you write in YouTube, Latvian saxophone. What is awesome about this guy is that he is actually included in the European Jazz Tree, which is super cool. Like, wow. The problem with his biography is, first, it's very hard to read because the text is small. Second, it's white on gray. That means that you have to strain your eyes even more. And third, nowhere in the text it's written that he's a saxophonist. I mean, he's a prominent figure in the Latvian jazz scene and the Baltics with his name included in the European Jazz Tree. He's currently an official artist endorser of the Marka Reed's, Titman companies. He's an artistic director at Riga Winds. What does he play? I mean, the picture saves the day, like, basically, yeah? But imagine a situation that some guy from a festival who sometimes are pretty old school and don't use good internet connection. Or he's in Italy. Italy internet is goodbye. It's very bad. German internet is very bad. Usually pictures are very slow to download. So basically what you get is a text, and you don't know what the person does. Maybe, okay, Marka Reed's could be like, you know, a hint that probably has something to do with wind instruments. But still, you know, it's kind of weird that he did that. But, I mean, the guy is cool. This is a better example because, first of all, he has the read more section here. Every important thing is in bold letters. He has his debut album, he has his vinyl recording, he has his new album, blah, blah, blah. Basically, it's short, straight to the point. You can expand the text. Everything is clear. And it's also black on white, which is easy to read. The letters, the font that he selected is easy to read. So basically, this guy is less famous than the previous guy, but more successful in the sense of the web page. Although, if you look at the menu of the web page, for me, personally, it seems a little bit illogical because it's the order of the menu is somehow, I don't know. Okay, then, this is probably the most important of all, video. So, the biggest mistake you can do dealing with European labels, festivals, booking agents, whatever, doesn't matter who. Never, ever, 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 ever use videos that you filmed on your phone. Never, 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 never. That's such a big no-no. Because videos from your phone, if it's not iPhone 11, and I'm not advertising, but they do good videos. Yeah, but still, the sound is bad. The picture will not be good if the light is bad. And if it's a club situation, the lighting will probably be bad. So the picture will just look pathetic. Basically, here's an example. How to do this? This is my email. Where was it? Where was it? A very fast example. I don't need your Wi-Fi. Thank you. This is a video filmed just on the phone with nothing. I mean, how can you sell something like that? The picture is bad. You cannot hear all the instruments. The main guy, who we are probably selling, stands with his back to the camera. composed it himself, and he's also a very famous singer and blah, 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 but he will never be able to sell himself if he presents things like that. But, of course, naturally, we all sometimes are beginners. We all start at some point. Do you have like maybe, I don't know, camera with a mirror, like a mirror camera? They usually do very nice videos. You can just take 2 tripods, place 2 cameras on both sides, use iMovie to cut it and use normally recorded sound. You don't need to film, I don't know, a movie like Spielberg or I don't know who else. Nobody needs that, but the video needs to be presented. Like this guy, this is the first video ever that he has made. He made it, I think, 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Now he's one of the most famous solo guitarists in the country because he knows how to present himself. And there is nothing super complicated in this video. It's just a lovely picture with normal sound. You know, it's sort of even artistic because you cannot see the face. There are different shadows, the light shines like from interesting spots. So basically, when you look at that, you can see that the time was invested into creating this video. So basically, that is also why the video that we made with Lynn was such an important thing, because we didn't film it on the phone. It was a professional recording in a studio. We had a couple of guys. I think there were 3.
I think so.
Yeah, I think there were 3 guys with cameras who were filming it. And since it wasn't a stage situation, it was sort of like a jam station, but you know, not in the musical sense, but in the filming sense, they stylized it as a black and white video that always saves the day, because black and white, when something is cheap, black and white makes it look better. It's just a cheap, remember that? If you have something in bad quality, use black and white. So this is a video of the same guitarist, but a couple of years later. So he evolved into this thing, which is now like, kind of like, you know, a normal music video, which is awesome. And since he does this regularly, artists started turning to him and saying, dude, we want to film your video. Because he's a good musician, he knows how to present himself to different people, not only festivals or concerts or something, but also to other artists, to his colleagues and stuff. And my internet ended here, but we're not here to watch videos. We're here to. So, and then where is my presentation? Back to the presentation. So, this we already discussed. So, how you present your videos on your web page. It's always a bad idea to stuff everything on your front page, on one page of the web page. Basically, it's easier and it's more convenient when you have everything divided into sections, you know. A section for text, section for videos, section for audios. And this is a very good example because you can see all the videos that he has, you know, I would change places, you know, music with videos because we live in a visual age now. But the web page was made some 5 years ago, I think, so he hadn't changed yet. But now, video is more important than the audio. So I would change places, the order in the menu. But still, this looks very presentable. So then, pictures. It is always better to have one promo picture, but in good quality. Instead of 10, but bad ones. Because everybody needs good pictures. Design is cheap in Europe, so everybody has professional designers. They always try to create interesting and very different from their neighbors' things, something like that. So they need good quality pictures, the ones that you can work with. If you have a promo picture of your band, like a selfie thing with a selfie stick or without a selfie stick, like, or in the hallway, you know, or in the auditorium, you just finished rehearsing and just, yeah, we need a picture, come on, ta, 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 ching, done. It doesn't work. It doesn't look serious. You have to look serious. Find a student who learns to become a photographer, pay him, I don't know, $50. It's not a lot, but that can, play a crucial role in selling yourself to other people. Also, the last line, dress well, wash your hair, and look presentable. That might sound funny, but actually it's very important. Because the fact that you are artists, that you are musicians, doesn't mean that you can live always in the world of arts. Unfortunately, you are your own face. If you want to sell yourself as you, like you are the main person, you are a soloist, you need to be the band leader, then you need to think about these things. Because I know a couple of musicians who are amazing, like, oh my God, but they dress up like Pat Metheny in the 90s, in the 80s, with the cut-off shorts and striped clothes, or they have dirty hair, or they have like stuff. They play like geniuses, my God, but nobody wants to hire them because they look like hobos. Because unfortunately, our age lives with their eyes. So think about that. Don't forget about that. So this is a good example of this guy is a very talented pianist. He made his webpage himself using Squarespace. I'm sorry, my husband is a designer. I don't need to, explore myself these things. So kind of lazy. But yeah, so the guy is very lucky because he has very good artistic taste, like in visual stuff. Basically, he has an awesome picture. He has his own logo. He has the menu very, okay, it's a cool menu. It's a good menu. I don't agree with Contact Us because the webpage is dedicated to him as a soloist, so who are us? And I tried to persuade him a couple of days ago, but he said, no, but I have a band, so contact the band, not only me. I was like, dude, you're selling yourself. I mean, the webpage is about you. If you open the About section, it only describes himself. So there's like something doesn't really, but still, it's a beautiful webpage. I mean, and that's his signature, So fancy. This, you know this guy, right? Again, the same guy who had a very nice biography. This is again the example of a very good picture. I mean, this is not a complicated picture. You can do it with an iPhone. It's not complicated. You just have to put some thought in it because there's light, the right light. It's a very beautiful light. He dresses up like he lives in Berlin now, so he's kind of dressed up as they do there. So this is like modern in Berlin. They like this style, kind of hipster. And you can see straight away his name and who he is: jazz saxophonist, composer, and educator. So basically everything is clear, and then you scroll the page a little down and you see that he is actually an award-winning guy who won 5 or 6 different awards. And you're like, wow. So basically everything is very near. This is a very good collage picture. This is an a cappella band from Latvia, the most famous one. This is an awesome picture. They have only one picture on Facebook, but it's plenty enough because it's good. They have beautiful clothing because they collaborate with different designers. They have awesome photo editing. I mean, if you look at this, you can see that these guys are professionals. It doesn't matter how they sing, well or bad, but they sing well. Or this is my band. We are, as you see, only 8 people. So it's also a collage. So basically, we paid 50 euros for a guy to take pictures of all of us separately and then just combine it into one. But basically, you can see everything. You can see the instruments. You can understand what's happening there. Everyone is dressed up, so it's kind of cool. Or this thing. It's also me. I'm right. I have cool pictures, but my husband knows how to take pictures. But you see, it has my name on it. So when you open the web page, even if you don't see, not the web page, but Facebook page, even if you can't read normally with typed letters, which happens sometimes to different people, you can see it written there. So you cannot miss my name. I mean, it's a little bit oppressive because here my name, there my name, there my name, and everywhere is my name. But still, I mean, I have to tell myself somehow. So, and then on the web page, also me, by the way, if you haven't noticed, you can choose pictures. all of the pictures are available here as well in high resolution. So basically you can use whatever picture you want, or if it's not enough, you can ask for more pictures. So basically it's easily accessible. And then one of the most important things is contacts. First of all, do not ever, ever, ever use contact forms. Never, 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 never. Contact forms are good if you want to address the lost and found office. And also not very good. Contact forms do not give you a lot of options or freedom. If you are a festival, if you go to a web page and you see a contact form, that means that you have to put additional effort into contacting the artist. It has to be the other way around. The festival is awesome. They invite you. And if they have to go through additional hoops to, fill out the contact form, that just, nope. No. Do not do that. Also be careful with the email names, because I once received an email from honeybunny123 at something. Turned out it was a saxophonist whose wife created an email for their whole family of 7 something, and they had a lot of children, and he just used that email because he doesn't care, he's old school. But imagine receiving an email from honeybunny123. What? Should it be how can you know that that's a musician? Even if it's stated in the, So it's just, be careful with these stuff. And contacts also should be displayed in a very visible spot and never as a picture. That happens as well sometimes, when you have to retype the email like A, B, C, D. That's additional effort. If you make your buyer go through additional effort, he will not buy it. So basically this is good because they have separate categories for contacts. Like just for regular bookings, you can write one email. For press information, other email. And for management and international projects, there is another email. That also shows us that the people have staff, which means that they invest in themselves, which means that they are successful because they have the resources to put into their business. If you don't have the resources to put in your business, that means that you are not successful. And if you are not successful, what's the reason to invite you to the festival? Right? So it's kind of creepy logic, but it is what it is. This guy as well. Kind of cool because he has contacts in a very visible spot on the top of the page, and he has management booking and international booking. So basically everything is clear. You just write an email or make a phone call and everything is okay. Same story here. Phone number, email, social media. Although when you use social media or whatever other links, please use the shorter links, You can shorten the links. There are aggregators that make a shorter link so that you wouldn't see the, 3 lines of links, so that it would be like web page and blah, 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 something, 5 letters. It looks more beautiful, and the upcoming events you see on Facebook. But if you post your upcoming events on your web page, make sure that every vital information, every piece of vital information is there. The date of the venue, first of all, then the time and the place of the event, not the venue, sorry. And if you put ticket links, make sure that they are active and give an option to read more about the event. Like for example, this guy, the same guitarist, none of these links are clickable. Like you only have a list of events, and if you want to go to some events of that, you have to search the internet to where can I buy the ticket? Like maybe on this ticket in this ticket office, or maybe in this ticket office, or maybe how. It makes it complicated. It doesn't work like that. It just shows that this guy has a lot of concerts, which is also cool, but it's not practical. Or this thing. I checked this yesterday, and I was like, oh, what? So, you see a concert. So, let's suppose we take the first concert, You press a button. Where do you go then? Ta-da! Band's in town. Okay, you see get tickets. I want to get tickets, right? If I want to go to that concert. I went that far, I want to buy a ticket. Okay, I'm ready, I can do this. You press get the tickets, and you end up on Facebook, and went there, it turns out that the event is free, without any admission. So, it's confusing. It's a lot of information that you don't really need. And I mean, using Bandcamp, not Bandcamp, but Bands in Town is good because, you know, it connects with different social media, and you can like type your event into one spot and it automatically uploads it to different other places. But it also screws up a lot of stuff because it places a lot of unnecessary information. And it also confuses because you cannot get rid of the buy ticket links. But if your event is free, I mean, some miscommunication happens and it makes it, you know, more complicated. And then comes the communication. When you decide that you are going to contact a jazz club or a festival or something, newsletters are a big no-no, like a huge no-no in Europe. I know that a lot of people use them, but in Europe, every second newsletter a person receives from you goes to spam. And all other emails you will try sending after that newsletter goes to spam. It's somehow considered to be oppressive and not necessary. And when you do write an email, do it yourself. A person should see that there was some effort in the action, you know? And be careful with names of people and clubs. I will explain later why. Very soon, I know we're running out of time. And do not write long letters, be straight to the point. Like, one example, a guy, my friend, don't read yet. My friend used to work in a jazz club as a booking manager. So basically, if you wanted to play in that club, you were supposed to write to her. So she got like a ton of different examples of how not to do. Like one of them is this one. Hello, I'm asking an opportunity for blah blah to perform in Philly Joe's bar. Philly Joe's bar is in Tallinn. We live in Riga. Yeah? Linear John is irregular jazz and boogaloo with an attitude. And then a couple of hours later, he realized that he mistyped the name of the club because the club is called Pashkevich Jazz Club, not Philly Joe's. I mean, do you think you received an answer to this message? Like, naturally, no, right? That's another example, like, hello, would you want to read that? If you're a booking agent and you work in a club and you receive 50 emails a day, if you're lucky, probably it's like 500. First line is okay, her name is truly Alexandra. Second line, the name of the club is written incorrectly because it's a different club. And then there are no links. He doesn't give you any, like he somehow describes the band, but he doesn't give you like anything to, no videos, no links, no pictures, no nothing, you know? So you have to read through all this text. I mean, doesn't work like that. That's also a message you received on Facebook. Like, no hello, no goodbye, just confirm that $200 is the highest budget for a gig in your club. Do you want to play there? Say hello, at least. I mean, what the hell is this? That's just crazy. So if you want to get a gig in Europe, be smart, think about it. Think about the fact that the mentality of the people there is different from here. Don't be rude, like the last example, right? Don't be overly excited, like, oh yeah, I'm so excited to come to Europe. I really want to play in your club. Please take me, please, please, please. I want to be there. I want to be there. Please take me out, take me out. That will not work. Be straight to the point. No unnecessary sentences. Do not write poems. I'm a musician from there and there. I got several words from here and here. You can listen to my music here. I would love to perform at your festival. Please contact me in case you're interested. Basically, that's all, because nobody has the time to do more. Think about the quality of your visual image, what I talked about right now, and don't be greedy, because financial opportunities of jazz festivals in Europe are bad. So if you are not Pedini, you cannot not ask $60,000 for it. That's just not going to happen. Nobody will answer your question. Try to talk it over with the guys. So, good luck, and if you have any questions, you can do that now. And I also have an example of a thing we did, like we published a magazine about Latvian jazz for a conference in Germany. It's like a trade fair about jazz in the world, and we did like a little something about what we have in Latvia. So you can explore, and you can also keep it as a souvenir. I have a stack of those at home. Pass it on. Yeah, questions? Are there any? If there are. Yes.
You said not a picture of the contact. Did you mean make sure they are all hyperlinks?
Not hyperlinks, but a text you can copy. Because sometimes people, I don't know why, but that sometimes happens. People just make like a print screen or a snapshot of the contacts and add them on the web page as a picture. So you need to be able to copy it. Or if it's a link, that also works. Yeah.
But contact form, just to clarify, one of those where you say contact and the thing opens up and you
Yeah,
enter your
contact
email
form.
and your name. And
No, contact form is this thing. This thing.
yeah, that's one.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's a no.
Okay.
I mean, that's a beautiful web page and the picture is awesome and blah, 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 but the contact form. Yeah. Yes?
You mentioned towards the beginning about tech writer and stage plans. And
Yeah.
Can you explain more about what you mean by that and when it's appropriate to include that sort of thing?
You can include the technical writer and stage plan or stage plan. You can include it, and it doesn't. Second. It's always a bonus to have it on the web page, you know. But if you have it, then it's best to have it not in a textual format, so that it would be easier and faster, you know. So that because usually all the files, like for example, I don't know, this web page doesn't have that, but someone does, or it doesn't. These guys have. These guys have, like, they have contacts and technical writer. It basically comes as a separate file, like a stack of files that you can download. You can download a file with a biography, you can download pictures, you can download something that they call a press release, which is not actually a press release, but it is like the same as your biography, but written in the form of press release, you know, like with a headline and the bigger headline and lead and blah, 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 blah. And then the technical writer and or stage plan. So if you have it, it's good. But it's good to have a technical writer, but not the one that has, you know, like I want Ben & Jerry's and a bath full of champagne and pink slippers. I mean, this kind of writer you talk about later when somebody contacts you. Yeah. Yes? Yeah.
So we're a class or a group of people who are not necessarily all jazz folks. Most of them are classical, some of them are doing singer-songwriter things. And a lot of websites, when it comes down to it, it's personal preference, grammar versus style versus what is required, what is expected. For example, in the classes we're in, contact pages are required. But I know I personally hate, or contact forms.
Contact forms, yeah.
I know I don't like them, but they're part of what is part of our assignment for these classes. Seeing as we're going from a lot of different styles, backgrounds, and maybe then we have different requirements for what's on our website, could you maybe say your top 3 or top 5 things that you think every website needs, whether you're in any style or whatever your market is?
Sure, no problem. Biography, short and long. High resolution pictures, videos with good sound and good picture quality. And contacts, well, I met a couple of web pages that have both a contact form and contacts. Maybe it would be even better to have both because, well, true, classical music and songwriting and pop music, these are like sort of different styles. But in Europe, basically it's all mixed up. So we don't have this very strict separation. We have, most likely we will separate it as academic music and non-academic music. Academic music will have classical music and jazz, and all other music has all other music, you know? So, but all the same, the basic design, you have to, if you can, if you want to spare, if you want to spend some time on that, you can try looking out different regions of Europe. There are books about the design and about how it works with the people who look at the design. What is best, more appropriate with, I don't know, for example, Poland, which is quite a big country with a lot of festivals in different genres of music, or Holland, which is not a very big country, but it has a lot of musical stuff going on there. But contact forms are less popular there than in the US, that's most definitely. But sometimes you can see contact forms on web pages. But if you have both, it's better, because then you have choice. But you also have to place them in such a way that the person could see straight away that he has this choice. Because if you have a contact form on top of the page and contacts in the bottom of the page, well, I have the time and patience to scroll down, but I'm like the only one, probably. Did it answer your question? Cool. Anyone else? Yes.
I have 2 questions. So with using your email on your website, do you ever get like spam?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, of course. Yesterday I received one letter that promoted some tax-paying, I don't know, something seminars, and the second one was porn. Happens. It's very exciting to open up your email.
My second question is, so the students in the classes are building their own websites now, or about to start, and
Yeah.
getting headshots. And can you just talk a little bit about how to develop your brand when you're maybe at this stage of your career, and how that can influence like the style of headshots you get, or what you pick for your website aesthetic? How can somebody at this stage of the student start to figure that out?
Yeah. Well, the most important thing of all is consistency. You have to think about who you are if you do the webpage for yourself. Like who you are. The picture that you make for yourself, your portrait should reflect that. I mean, if you, for example, let's get back to this guy, for example. What can you say about this guy when you look at this picture? That he's very self-confident. Naturally, he is. That's totally him. Can you tell that he's a jazz musician? Nope, probably. I don't know, the fur coat somehow throws me off. But you can clearly say that he is a saxophonist and that he is kind of cool. He's kind of cool because he has tattoos, I don't know how it's here, but in Latvia, in Europe, if you have tattoos, that means you're awesome, because tattoos are just gaining their popularity. I mean, if you have on a visible spot, and if it's tribal, and it's like folkish and something, then it's, you're following the trends. It's cool. So basically, but the most important thing in this picture, 2 important things in this picture. First of all, he has the saxophone, so it's very clear who you are. Yeah, he's a saxophonist, mainly. The fact that he's a composer is secondary. The fact that he's an educator is also secondary. But the fact that he's a saxophonist is the first and the main thing. The second thing, you can see the quality of the picture. You can see that it's good, because you can see that he rented a studio, that he thought about lighting, that he thought about composition, and it's free, you can see the pose, it's not staged. It's like he was walking and someone called him and he was like, oh, what? And that was the moment when the picture was taken. So it's like easy, so it doesn't have this artificial vibe in it. And that's also a thing that you have to avoid to make it look artificial, because, for example, I don't know, these guys, is there a picture of them? No, there's no picture here, sorry. This guy. The picture is very good, but you can see that it's staged. Although it's not bad that it's staged. In this case, it's very, tastefully staged. But there can be some examples where, you see that the smile is forced. Because I'm smiling because I have to smile for the picture, but I'm not happy right now. And you also have to think about the smaller details, the minor details. Like here, for example, he has the cap on his mouthpiece. That means even if you don't pay closer attention to it right away, the brain, if you know anything about saxophones, the brain fixates on this thing because you know that he's not in the process of playing right now. Because the cap is on, and he's not going to take it off because he's not posing for me, right? He's the cool guy. Yeah, I have the hat and a hipster jacket. The saxophone is here just because I'm a saxophonist. That's why, not because I'm going to play. So these are kind of details you have to think about. You have to be very clever. You know, it's not when you do a professional picture, the one that represents you. It's not when you just woke up, you know, threw something on, did something with the hair, and went like, okay, take a picture of me now. You have to think about it. You have to invest your time in it. So, did it answer your question? Cool. Any more questions? No? Cool. Yes?
Can you talk more about the nonprofit, how to get started and things like that?
Okay, nonprofit, it started accidentally. We were never planning to spend so much time in it, but it started in, I think, 2014. It was a couple of years after the UNESCO designated April 30 as the International Jazz Day, and we decided that we want to do a jazz day. We want to unite all the people in the country to celebrate jazz, and we needed some funding, so the first place you go to for the funding is the government. So, in order to go to the government, we needed to have an organization. Yeah. And we went and registered ourselves as a nonprofit, and then when we started doing things, we decided to go and get ourselves a special status that is like a status of social, I don't know how to translate it, that we do good things for the society. And since we started this thing like officially, we decided that maybe we could, you know, help ease things up for ourselves, because we started receiving letters from musicians which were basically the same as these examples, with crappy pictures and with very long texts and with illogical statements in it. So we decided that, okay, then we need to educate the guys, because, well, it's obvious that they don't know how to sell themselves, even to us, who they know personally. I mean, we talked about it when we met them, you know, like, hi, dude, yeah, hi, how are you? Very nice. You want to play at our event? Yeah, sure, I'm gonna play at your event. Okay, send me your bio, your picture, your videos. And he sends me like, well, I don't have any videos. How am I going to sell you if you don't have any videos? And I mean, unfortunately, it all comes down to selling, because you have an event, you have to sell tickets. You have to get people to listen to your musicians, and, well, it would be nice for them to buy tickets because they have to pay the musicians, you know? So, you have to think about these things. You need to use your brain. It all comes down to that. You need to use your brain. Yeah.
Thank you.